Hey guys, a few things I want to go over for Beloren on Monday and future polls. We're really just going to go over, I'll look at this tank POV, I'll go over a couple of things. The Dratnos video does a good job of picking up all the extra stuff. I watched it at 1.5 times speed. Maybe you're better than me, you can do 2 times and cut the time in half. But the fight's pretty basic in terms of how it sounds. This is a super tank heavy fight, so Brandon and Beef, make sure you're prepped for it. But we're going to go over a couple things here. So the way it works is how we thought and we talked about on the first day. A tank will soak these. The main thing is if we're going to go to the mark that is closest to where the wall that spawned is. So if the if the orbs spawn going this way in the video, the closest mark is then right here in the corner. If the walls were coming the other way towards Beloren this way, we'd go to the mark on the left. They talk about this in the Dratnos video. We'll probably keep that consistent. It's just less walking for everyone. It makes it a little bit easier. Yeah. We double stack, we have immunities, that's it. Hunters will take the gate. Now, the difficult part here is going to be most skills run 2 Warlocks. I'm going to boogie look into it because this gate will always exist. The question is what is going to happen when the walls go the other way for the other soaks. Good question. I don't know. I'm not sure if we just deal with it and, figure it out as we go. I don't know what that issue is. But yeah, so for quills, a cool thing to keep in mind is that a lot of times you can't trust tanks to take the quill, so we shouldn't trust tanks for the most part, unless a tank tells us they can trust them. But if a tank does take a quill, you can actually take one of the opposite color. It does not do very much damage, so you can just take it anytime. Eggs. So the main thing is that when these ads spawn, they need to be immediately gripped. Whether we have 1 or 2 DKs, there's only 2 ads. They should be immediately gripped into melee. For every set, bang, bang, and then we need interrupts. You can only interrupt the color that you are, so knowing what color you are, whether you have the weak aura or you just want to use your private auras, I don't really care. But we need to have preferably someone called that they have first, and then they should only get 2 casts from what I've been told. So if that's the case, then we shouldn't need to set up too big of an order, but just make sure they don't get a cast off, okay? Not sure if we want to do range first, melee second or something, or just natty play it, but we should be able to figure it out. Yeah. So when the orbs are coming back in towards the boss like this, the main thing is going to be just don't let them hit the boss. They don't hit very hard. Definitely DPS and healers can take them. The main thing is you want to do these swaps, these extra soaks before this color swap, and that's going to be very key for every phase. So when this color swap is coming, I'll try to call out color swap incoming, and then that means you'll have, about 5 seconds to get a couple orbs. Make sure none are going to hit the boss. As soon as this you've been infused with switches to your screen, so whether your color switches or stays the same, it does not switch again. So this guy's been switched to Void. So even though this cast is going to go for another 4.6 seconds, he is 100% going to be a Void player. And so if he needed to, he could start soaking the blue orbs. But he does not need to, so we are fine. So there's another set of orbs, so it's opposite with our first soak. Since it's on this wall, they're going to go to the second mark over here. This means that the Druid tank is going to go and soak these balls, most likely. Yeah, there he goes. Main thing that I saw here is lots of Tiger's Lust being used. This will be Ort Spot to Tiger's Lust, whichever tank is doing the soaks. I hope hopefully our private auras, yeah, it looks like they do Shuas, so hopefully we can do that. He can do the soaks, and that's it. We'll just double soak, pop our immunities, stuff like that. Then we just can continue rinse and repeat. We have to transition this phase at, I think 148 is the latest time. So you can get these color swaps, but you cannot get these orbs. So this is your timer. You want to beat these orbs. From what I've been told, if you don't like this, it's not necessarily the end of the world, but you want to beat it, so we should. Intermission will get the first one. Lust, Paw, it's the same as always. If you watch Ratnos videos, they say the bear tank shouldn't be getting the balls. We're going to play that he is going to get the balls, just to start. I just feel like it's easier that way for Brandon to do it rather than focusing on DPS. If we start looking at laws and there's some dog shit DPS, then we can have DPS go out and grab a bunch too, or share them. But we'll just have Brandon do the start because it's easier to have a tank do it and they don't have to think about it. Unless everyone else focus on just the pattern. The main thing coming out, if you look at this kill video that I posted along with the Dratnos one, is it's all based on the first wall that spawns. So coming out of intermission, there's all these orbs right here, and so we need to make sure these don't hit the boss with swaps happening, right? So that's very important. So you'll notice they're tanks, and there's going to be probably an immunity here. I think they're paladin, yeah, their paladin bubbled this. So he does it right there. And that's because the color swap's happening, so it's dangerous. But once you've been swapped, so he's light, he could go grab some of these. He's a tank, he could take these two if he wanted. But he doesn't, and that's it. So big thing here. This is where this whole fight's going to play out. If our first wall is going the way you see it in this video, so out from the entrance, in terms of the walls going through the entrance, then we're going to play the corner, which would be by moon over here for all our drops. We go moon and then left and left. The big thing is that if the orbs come the other way, I can link this here. This guy has a floor POV of it, and it's not necessarily great, but you'll see the orbs coming the other way in this video. This is our first soak, and we're going to play this is by the stairs, by the entrance. So you can, I think this is the entrance side, and you'll see purple, and these go 1, 2, 3. So that's if the orbs are starting the other way compared to what we saw in the first time. So if they're going, parallel to the stairs, I guess, or the entrance. They got a hunter here do this soak. This is at 240. Looking at our hunter soak timings. I don't know how short into P2 this is. It doesn't feel very long. It's maybe longer than it looks. 230. No, it's not that much longer. So there is no orb soak here. Our first orb soak in P2 is at 48 seconds into this phase. So we're really going to have to make sure that we're getting these soaks. Whether that's a tank or something, I'm not sure. I don't know what that answer is, so I'll have to look into that and get back to you guys on it. But if I'm not mistaken, yeah, they had a hunter turtle and do it here. So maybe that's this is normally, so T normally has the first soak in P2. Maybe T pops it early and gets these soaks is how we should do it. But we'll see when we get there, and then we just wouldn't have any for the line soak, I guess. But yeah, that's sort of how we do that. The one other thing that's a little bit different going into this is there's 2 sets. It said move boss there, and that's because there's these thing called the circle orbs. Where are they? Use them? Right there. Right here. So these things, there are timers. They'll say circle orbs on our screen. So it's literally a circle orbs that will go into where the boss was in the middle. And then, so that's why they're going to move the boss. The main thing is we are going to move the boss away from the marks of where we dropped. And so we have to clean these dark ones out. So it's probably the tank that goes, there he goes, ding, ding, ding. He's going to clean them out. We just walk him away. It's not too bad as long as he's not getting hit by them. They're not an issue anymore. Again, if one's getting close and you're worried, you can definitely soak them. But it should be pretty free. And then it's just a big tank thing and more soaks. Looks like this is the easier way to do it if we're on this wall. So hopefully we get that one and go from there. The last thing I'll double check is that soak and lorgs here for the hunter turtle. This is their kill pull. Yeah, so here they actually kill turtles at 249. Which I don't believe on this one was at 249. I could be wrong. Oh yeah. It's at 249 right here. So that's always the same time at 249. So I guess that is 49. Maybe that is the 48 seconds. So this would always be T anyway. So T would just have to get the one closest to the group in order to save us from that. So that one's less about the gate and more about just from what it looks like saving the group. So maybe the gate's only a factor in P1. But Hunter should be up to date on that and know what they're doing for that. All right. That is really the entirety of the fight. We just go rinse and repeat. There's another set of circle orbs that come out with this move boss. We're in no rush in this phase. It's really just you can kind of push any time. There's the orbs again. This tank's gonna soak a bunch. Soak for your friend. Big tank mechanic, big tank mechanic. And that's it. Drought video they left up an ad for cleave. We're probably not going to do that. It just makes the intermission, scarier. Once this orb spawns, you can push anytime. This soak will be double Aug. It's the only one where Augs will help out if we need it. Their DK goes 100 to 0. Their other guy lives. Their hunter... I'm not sure what happened. Maybe their DK should have got a DR external and didn't. Maybe that's why he died. But it should be pretty free. We go into intermission. If we make it here and the boss is at whatever percent, they had it at 35. It's pretty much a guaranteed kill. We just can't die intermission. All right. Any questions? Let us know. Reach out. But that's what I got for you today. Thanks, guys.